Today, we go on a journey through the Labyrinth. Please remember to like and subscribe. The Labyrinth of Greek mythology is a tale of intrigue, danger, and adventure, a story that has captivated the imagination of people for centuries. It is a story of a complex maze designed by the great architect Daedalus, a place where the legendary Minotaur was kept, and where the brave Theseus fought to slay the beast. The story begins with King Minos of Crete, who was a powerful and wise ruler. He was the son of Zeus and Europa, and he had inherited the throne from his father. Minos was a just and fair king, loved by his people, but he had one major problem: the Minotaur. The Minotaur was a creature with the body of a man and the head and horns of a bull. It was said to be the offspring of Queen Pasiphae, Minos' wife, and a bull. The Minotaur was a fierce and terrifying creature, and Minos knew that he had to find a way to keep it contained. Minos called upon the great architect Daedalus to design a maze that would hold the Minotaur. Daedalus was a brilliant inventor and builder, and he accepted the challenge. He designed a labyrinth that was so complex and intricate that no one could ever find their way out. The labyrinth was built on the island of Crete, and it was said to be so vast that it could hold 1,000 men. It was made of stone and brick, with walls that were 10 feet thick. The maze was filled with twists and turns, dead ends and false exits. It was a place where a person could easily get lost and never find their way out. The Minotaur was placed in the center of the labyrinth, and it was fed on human flesh. Minos would sacrifice young men and women to the Minotaur, and it would devour them in a matter of minutes. The people of Crete lived in fear of the Minotaur, and they knew that they had to stay away from the labyrinth at all costs. Years passed, and the legend of the labyrinth grew. People from all over Greece came to see the maze, but no one dared to enter it. The labyrinth was said to be cursed, and anyone who entered it would never come out alive. One day, a young man named Theseus came to Crete. He was the son of King Aegeus of Athens, and he had heard the stories of the labyrinth and the Minotaur. Theseus was a brave and adventurous young man, and he was determined to slay the Minotaur and escape the labyrinth. Theseus met with King Minos and asked for his permission to enter the labyrinth. Minos was skeptical at first, but he eventually agreed. He gave Theseus a ball of thread and told him to unwind it as he made his way through the maze. This way, Theseus could find his way back out. Theseus entered the labyrinth, and he began to make his way through the twists and turns. He unwound the thread as he went, leaving a trail behind him. The Minotaur was waiting for him, and it charged at him with its horns. Theseus dodged the Minotaur's attacks and struck back with his sword. The battle between Theseus and the Minotaur was fierce and intense. The two combatants clashed in the center of the labyrinth, their swords flashing in the sunlight. The Minotaur was a formidable opponent, but Theseus was determined to slay it. Finally, after what seemed like hours of fighting, Theseus struck the final blow. The Minotaur fell to the ground, defeated. Theseus stood over it, victorious, and he knew that he had accomplished something great. Theseus made his way back out of the labyrinth, following the thread that he had unwound. He emerged into the sunlight, triumphant, and he was greeted by King Minos and his people. They cheered and celebrated, and they hailed Theseus as a hero. After his victory over the Minotaur, Theseus became a legendary hero in Greece. He was hailed as a champion of courage and wisdom, and his name was whispered in awe by the people. He returned to Athens, where he was welcomed back with open arms by his father, King Aegeus. But Theseus's adventure was far from over. He had many more battles to fight, many more challenges to overcome. He sailed to the land of the Amazons, where he fought against the warrior queen Hippolyta and her army of female warriors. He journeyed to the underworld, where he faced the fierce three-headed dog Cerberus and the river Styx. Through it all, Theseus remained brave and true, never faltering in his quest for glory and honor. One day, a young woman named Ariadne came to the labyrinth. She was the daughter of King Minos and Queen Pasiphae, and she was determined to find a way to heal her mother's illness. Ariadne had heard that the labyrinth had the power to heal, and she was willing to do anything to save her mother's life. Ariadne navigated the twists and turns of the labyrinth, using the thread that Theseus had left behind to guide her. She finally reached the center of the maze, where she found the Minotaur waiting for her. But instead of attacking her, the Minotaur spoke to her in a voice that was both fierce and gentle. "Why have you come to the labyrinth, Ariadne?" the Minotaur asked. Ariadne explained her mission, and the Minotaur listened carefully. Then, it spoke again. "I can help you, Ariadne, but you must first answer my riddle. If you answer correctly, I will give you the cure for your mother's illness. But if you fail, you will never leave the labyrinth alive." Ariadne agreed to play along, and the Minotaur asked her the riddle. "What is it that is blind, yet sees? What is it that is silent, yet speaks?" Ariadne thought carefully, and then she answered. "The answer is the heart," she said. "The heart is blind, yet it sees. The heart is silent, yet it speaks." The Minotaur was impressed with Ariadne's answer, and it gave her the cure for her mother's illness. Ariadne returned to her mother and gave her the cure, and Queen Pasiphae was healed. One day, a young man named Plato came to the labyrinth. He was a philosopher and a student of Socrates, and he was determined to unlock the secrets of the maze. Plato spent many hours studying the labyrinth, trying to understand its secrets and its magic. As Plato navigated the twists and turns of the labyrinth, he began to realize that it was more than just a maze. It was a symbol of the human condition, a reminder of the dangers of the unknown and the power of courage in the face of adversity. He saw that the labyrinth was a place of transformation, a place where people could come to change their lives and to find their true purpose. Plato spent many years studying the labyrinth, and he eventually wrote a book about his findings. The book was called The Labyrinth of the Soul, and it became a classic of Greek literature. In it, Plato described the labyrinth as a symbol of the human journey, a reminder that life is full of twists and turns, but that with courage and determination, we can overcome any obstacle. And so, the story of the labyrinth continues to inspire and captivate people to this day. It is a reminder of the power of human creativity and ingenuity, and of the bravery and determination that we all need to navigate the twists and turns of life.